Hello and welcome to this presentation. In the next few minutes, we're going to learn about the live seafood supply chain. Firstly, I'm going to talk about the nature of the live seafood supply chain. All live seafood supply chains start with producers, I mean the fishers, and end with the end buyers, including local fish markets, supermarket chains, or restaurants who sell the finished products to consumers. Although sometimes fishers have the option to bypass the whole supply chain and sell directly to consumers. However, informal seafood markets supply chains consist of a combination of mid-chain players like aggregators or distributors who transform, package, and transport products from the start point to the final sell. There are four possible ways to export the product in this industry. They can export immediately after harvesting, after primary processing, after both primary and secondary processing, and they can export after harvesting to another country to process the product and re-export to the destination country, which is almost a new characteristic of the live seafood supply chain. These are there are basic characteristics in this industry that makes it a little bit different from the other industry supply chains, and we need to consider them because they play important roles in the logistic management of supply chain. Of course, I'm not going to talk about all of them, but we need to consider that there is a little room for mistakes that put companies at financial risk. And with the high amount of waste in this industry, most companies utilize a combination of pull and pull strategies to provide an equilibrium between supplying enough products to meet consumer needs and at the same time reducing inventory, manufacturing, and waste costs. About key attributes, the first one is product differentiation. Product differentiation in the supply chain is the feature that determines the degree of sustainability in the chain. When it comes to the type of product, there is a spectrum that moves from commodity to differentiate. In a commodity chain, every unit, whether it is an individual fish or fillet or a value-added product, they are treated identically, and the chain is not designed to trace data about the source of the product. On the other side of the spectrum are differentiated products, which can be distinguished from each other based on certain data, including geography, harvesting techniques, and brand. The important thing that we need to consider is that the spectrum is fluid. It means that there may be a product as both a commodity and highly differentiated based on the end location of the products and the way they will be treated. Brand presence is the feature that is about the strong influence of some brands on the whole supply chain. These brands regulate the processes in the supply chain, and all the actors from fishers to the consumers must act based on those regulations. In the live seafood supply chain, relationships are deep rooted and strong, especially at the beginning of the supply chain between fishers and their buyers. Supply chains in which the relationships are healthy and the product differentiation spectrum moves toward differentiation are flexible, and they are more likely to have the potential for implementing changes regarding the long-term sustainability of the fishery industry. The majority of seafood supply chains are vertically integrated. One company owns the different businesses in the supply chain from the start point of harvesting until the end buyer. On the other hand, there are dispersed supply chains in which different firms independently operate with each other as trading partners to make a profit, and no one actor has a major influence. Based on the product's type and the geography of fish harvesting, there may be some aggregators who buy the product directly from the fisher and sell them to processors or distributors to serve the local or international markets. On the other hand, some fishers have more options regarding the market and the buyer of the products. They may be located closer to the final market, bypass the mediators, and sell their products directly to the processor or distributor. There are several environmental issues regarding fishing industry activities, including fish populations, water contamination, and habitat degradation. Overfishing is a good example of environmental impact of this industry. With increasing overfishing activities and the lack of sustainable management, many fish stocks have reached their lowest levels. Some governments and global corporations have cooperated to establish and apply strategies like limiting daily fishing based on the species or putting limitations according to season to reduce the negative effects of the live seafood industry on the ecosystem. Some studies have shown that these types of rules and regulations can lead to stopping overfishing and might help to control the marine ecosystem's current condition and also restore former damages to some degree. Most of the big companies in the live seafood industry, like Maruha Nichiro Holding and Mobi Company, are based in Japan, the United States, and Norway. All these companies have vertically integrated supply chains that provide them with guaranteed access to the product delivered by their ships, protect the firm from price inflations, and allow for full control of all activities in the supply chain. There are two examples of the activities that these big companies and the governments did regarding sustainability. Mobi Company has a sustainability strategy called the Blue Revolution Plan. Based on this plan, they have some commitment to be part of the solution for the global challenges like climate challenges, plastics, and freshwater use. NOAA Fisheries assess the stock to control the fish population. They measure the impact of fishing on fish and shellfish subpopulations. Thank you.